following is a UTV sports production. Friday Night Rivals. This is the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers UTV 44 Game of the Week, presented by the Mobile and Baldwin County Sheriff's Offices and the Drug Education Council.
8 teams left in 7A and 2 proud schools with great traditions, each one looking for their first ever state championship. We'll meet up here tonight at the Lip. McGill-Toolen comes in 10-1 region champs. We'll take on the Auburn Tigers 7-4, 4-2 coming out of Region 2 for this second round matchup here in 7A. Good evening. I'm Jim Cox. As always, my partners Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett. And Dan, you look at this game, a lot of familiarity between these two teams, a lot of history, of course, but really I think more than that, round 2 of the playoffs, 2 great football teams going at it.
Yeah, when you say history, it's all recent history too, right? Auburn and McGill meeting up at the Lip.
Third time in 4 years.
Who thought that could ever happen, right? So, but here we go again.
All right, this Auburn team, of course, Adam Weingarten, the coach there. We see some different things offensively. Going to see a lot of run, a lot of veer, a lot of option. When you're doing that, you got to have a quarterback who's good with the ball.
Yeah, you know what? This guy, no one talks superlatives about Bradley Northcutt, but no one says a bad thing about him. And they started out 1-3 with a lot of injuries, running back, cornerbacks. You needed somebody to kind of straighten the ship, and this is the kid. Moxie, leader, 3-year starter now for a program like Auburn. That says a lot about Bradley Northcutt.
All right, Vic, when you see a team that's running the option, a lot of that veer stuff, it's easy for the secondary to get sucked in and give up a big play. McGill's got to try to thwart that tonight.
Yeah, and leading the pack over there is going to be Trey Bendoff. You know, when you're talking about running the veer and you're talking about the pass, this guy doesn't mind being in coverage. Of course, he doesn't mind coming up and making some tackles. Got a couple of picks this year. And the main thing about him, Jim, is he competes. That's what I like about it. But you almost can say that about the entire McGill defense. But here's one that really does it. He's a great player, and I think he's going to be an impact tonight if McGill's going to be successful on defense, like they have been for the whole year.
Auburn, they beat Theodore last week to get to this matchup, and it was McGill getting the win over Enterprise. One of these two schools, they'll be playing in the semis next week. We'll find out who that is. Coming up next, it's kickoff. Coming up right after this, we've got McGill and Auburn tonight here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. First night, it feels like football weather, as they would describe it. Our first chilly autumn night here, and it comes in week 2 of the playoffs. McGill and Auburn about ready to kick things off here at the Lip. And before we get to the kickoff, let's send it down to the sidelines, get our first orthopedic group sideline report. Ashley Pope is down there. Good evening, Ashley.
Hey guys, tonight marks the 3rd time. Actually, they've seen each other in the past 4 years. This is the 4th tonight. But Auburn has been able to win the victory the past 3 years. Very close in 2012 and 2013 with overtimes. But tonight, you will see Auburn's new head coach, Adam Weingarten, former coach of Fairhope, as the leader for them. Actually, last year, Coach Weingarten was able to defeat McGill as the Fairhope coach in the second round of playoffs. So tonight, I think with all the variables, McGill is ready for revenge.
All right, fantastic job by Ashley there.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. And while Ashley was giving us all that information, I managed to make a total mess of the press box here at the Lip.
Yeah, I see that.
If you noticed what has taken place up here. I hope the game is a little smooth. But Brian Aaron, our statistician, don't hurry to help clean up whatever you do.
Cox knocked over 2 Cokes, a Gatorade, and I think Vic's bourbon. All right, we're just kidding.
All right, we'll get this train on the tracks, and we're going to have us a football game here.
Well, I mean, if we can't get this cleaned up, I'm not sure they'll start the game. I'm just not sure they will start the broadcast here.
All right. What we need is what we don't have, and that would be like a roll of paper towels. Not available.
A mop.
Mop.
A pressure washer wouldn't be bad at this moment here.
I don't remember if Auburn had the silver helmets the last time I saw them.
They are great looking helmets.
And the McGill guys are swaying in concert there, ready to go.
Now this should be really going to be anxious to see this Auburn team. They come out, they Adam Weingarten, Dan was talking about quarterback Bradley Northcutt in the pregame show. We asked Adam about him, and he said, I take him on my team. He said, I really like him. He's gritty, 3-year starter.
Yep.
He's a winner. He'd like to have him be a part of it. But, of course, Paris Chambers, he's pretty happy with the way his quarterback is playing right now.
Well, and Adam even brought up Chambers as well.
Sure.
And said, boy, I like the way their guy's playing. And how could you not? He's been so accurate and so consistent. And McGill doesn't throw a lot of them. They don't take a lot of big shots down the field. But talking with the McGill staff before, it's not just the 66% completion percentage that he's got. Paris has been throwing the ball right where the receiver needs it.
Throwing him open.
To advance. He's been really, really, really solid in the games we've seen him.
Yeah, and it's been great to see him grow over the year from, getting his opportunity last year, being thrust into the position. You could tell he put some time in it over the summer.
Boy, there's no doubt. There is no doubt he put in plenty of time. You see that sort of improvement from one year to the next.
Credit the coaches, no doubt, getting him ready.
All right, now.
And Paris kept showing up, right?
Sure.
I think one thing you want to keep your eye on here tonight, Adam Weingarten has been known as someone, special teams, always a big part of it, and he has got a special kicker, and we'll talk more about him later in the broadcast, but onside kicks, known to do that on a regular basis, try different formations and things like that, but they also have a kicker in Sage Ledbetter. He can just drill it in the end zone every time he kicks off as well.
Might be a challenge here, kicking straight into that north wind, and this is the first big north wind we've had of the year.
Left-footed kicker, looks like a free safety.
Yeah, big guy.
Goes this one, and it will bounce into the end zone, and so McGill will have it coming out at the 20-yard line, and there's Adam Weingarten. Of course, had the run down there in Fairhope, and got off to a rough start. They were 1-3 this year, but they lost those 3 games by a combined 5 points.
Yeah, they had a terrible run of injuries. Their tailback back in the spring, 2 cornerbacks, and a safety early in the season. That's a lot of personnel you got to replace.
Yeah.
And some of those games early on, like Sandy Springs, was a week where they could play somebody out of region. That's a great team out of Georgia.
Paris Chambers dropping back, has time, flips it out of the backfield, able to get that one complete to Kennedy, and Quake Kennedy up to about the 22-yard line. Kennedy has moved back into that running back position after Cole Sharp got banged up a little bit. Robbins, Coggins, Simpson, Long, and Gould up front. Rembert has had a great year outside. Alex Davis likes the big games, hitting there along with Ryan Clark, the tight end. Kennedy out of the backfield, and Paris Chambers, the senior quarterback, who's thrown for over 2,000 yards this year, comes to the near side, and he's able to hit that one off, and Rembert is dropped immediately, as there to make the hit was Damon Freeman. And will be good enough for the first down. Robinson, Bickerstaff, and Wages. Wages had a good game last week in the win. Jimerson, Floyd, Cleveland, and Rollins. And keep your eye on Howard as well. Brown, Taylor, Freeman, and Hayden Williams there. And that catch right at the 30 and good for a first down for the Yellow Jackets. They give Roberson, comes up the near side, and Roberson with a big collision at the 40. Is coming over there was Morgan Brown, and Brown is really slow to get up over on the McGill sideline.
Brown is woozy. I mean, they want to take a time to make sure that kid's okay.
Yeah, he definitely came up and had a helmet-to-helmet collision there.
Yeah,
and
they're going to bring.
They're
going to bring the They want to bring the trainers over to look at him. Watch this coming right at you down the sidelines. Oh, that was helmet.
Yeah, Brown actually initiated it.
Yeah, Brown with 4 interceptions. He's their second leading tackler, 3 tackles for a loss, and they have J.C. Todd, the defensive coordinator, was telling us, Dan, how banged up in the secondary they have been all season long. And
he's gonna go take a seat at least for a play, possibly more.
Yeah, good tough football, but let's pray he's A-okay, because that's a big talk now about these head injuries, and you certainly don't want it on the high school level.
Well, and I think everyone, the medical staffs on the sidelines they know so much more what to look for.
Yep.
So that was good for a first down right at the 40-yard line. And Rowdy Jordan comes in to replace Brown in the secondary. Chambers, far side, incomplete. Trying to get Brandon Hinton.
They let him just a hair too much.
Take a look how the McGill Yellow McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets got here. Impressive all year. The only loss, that game that was right here on UTV 44, 17-14, they lost to Blunt. Other than that, they have been very, very solid all year. Only two teams have scored. One team has scored more than 2 touchdowns, and that was Murphy. Back here to the near side, Rembert with a catch, and he is into Auburn Tiger territory, and he's got a first down at the 47.
He's just a spinning top after he catches that ball.
Yeah, he's trying to make you miss. If you make a false step, he's going to take advantage of it.
Region standings, McGill, the only unbeaten team in the region. And I think also here's what's important to notice. McGill, the only unbeaten team. McGill, the only team still playing in the playoffs. Murphy, Theodore, and Foley all with first-round exits. Chambers, Rembert. Got it to the 33 before he's pushed back, and another McGill first down.
You think they're using the pass to set up the run? I mean, immediately you can tell the philosophy going into this football game and the confidence they've got in Chambers to come out here and open it up.
And they may have more confidence in the pass than the run. This is a really big Auburn defense.
We talked about J.C. Todd, who's the defensive coordinator. This Auburn Tiger team was at Daphne and then at Fairhope with Coach Weingart, and he was talking about all the different looks that McGill can give you. Like Vic talked about so much in the game last week, pre-snap trying to get you lined up wrong, and they certainly can do that.
And take advantage of you if you're not aligned. That's the first thing on defense. You know, you guys heard him talk about it. You got to get set in terms of your alignment.
JC also saying McGill will try to give you some looks and give you a tendency, and it's a false tendency, and they come back and run it to the other side after you think you know what's coming.
It's good coaching.
Paris Chambers goes with the hard count, and that draws Auburn offside. And
something that catches my eye, guys, look at all the players on both sidelines, and that tells you these two teams, they get the pick from what they in the call there. You get the pick from what you got in terms of the top athletes at these high schools.
Auburn dressing out 115 players.
Wow. And the NFL is only 57 or 53.
On the road.
The handoff up the middle is Kennedy, and Kennedy has a first down to the 12-yard line.
Well, they got 115 players dressed up, but they didn't have one near the running back. That's a problem right there, right through the gut. And Vic was saying, throw it to set up the run. That's what they've done right there.
Right there, you see it happening.
Impressive drive that started at the 20 here for the Yellow Jackets.
Something has to get off balance for the offense to work.
3 receivers to the top of the screen. They come out of the backfield to Kennedy. Slips a little bit, but Kennedy is inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line.
Boy, everybody at McGill does their job. You don't see people lazy when they're trying to get out in front and block. That's from the receivers to the big guys in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Everybody gets a hat on somebody, makes these plays that otherwise you see, Friday after Friday fail for some teams.
Yep.
The difference is the execution.
Yeah, and they compete at every position.
The give to Kennedy. Trying to push ahead. He'll get to the 5.
I thought I saw some movement.
I was certain someone took off a bit early, but the Zebras didn't agree with us.
3rd down.
Good job by Rawlings Cleveland there for Auburn to stick his face in there and make the tackle.
Does he look like a high school football linebacker?
He does. He looks tough. 6 feet, 180.
They are. That's one thing Caleb Ross said. He said they're just big all over the field. Auburn, they're just big.
Yep.
3rd and about 3. Here for the Yellow Jackets. And Paris Chambers looks over. Plenty of time still on the play clock here. Tight formation on the near side. Chambers wants to throw it up. Looking for Marlon Williams, and he's got it for the touchdown.
And that's another thing that J.C. Todd brought up. They don't have a bunch of superstars on McGill, but you don't know who you've got to defend.
Yep.
Play as a team.
Yep. And they got enough guys that are good football players like Williams.
Just playing one-on-one out there, and McGill won. I knew something was coming to that big wide side of the field.
McGill lines up. They're going to go for 2 here. Bubba Thompson.
Again, even on special teams, they're going to check you mentally and see if you're in the game and know where to go and know where to line up. Just all facets of the game.
Yep, Charles Mahler will come on. Bubba Thompson to hold. High snap. Thompson's got it. And McGill with an impressive opening drive. 3.5 minutes. They take it 80 yards. To Paris Chambers, as he's done so often this year, tosses another one for a touchdown, and the Yellow Jackets on top early. Injury Lawyers Game of the Week here on UTV 44. You see what we always say, one of the best student sections in all of high school football down here. It's the MAC-T fans, and our game brought to you tonight by Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers, a big part of high school football this season here on UTV 44, and we thank them. And Yellow Jackets impressive to open this one up. Charles Green with a high kick to the near side, and that ball grabbed at the 17 and out to the 25 and then pushed back. Not a lot of room. Cordell Plott was turned around there.
Yeah, he was just going horizontal, trying to find some way to go vertical, and this is the wrong team to do that to, the way they stay in their alleys and in their lanes.
There's Caleb Ross, second year at McGill-Toolen. Adam Weingarten was talking about this week. He said, you know, you saw some of the challenges that McGill went through last year, but he said those challenges that the young kids went through last year have put them in the position that they're in here this year.
That's right.
And had the great run.
That's right. Yeah, and the continuity on that staff, too. You know, they coached them when they were younger a year ago and watched them and helped them grow up.
Northcutt runs to the right, pulls it up, and he'll get just past the original line of scrimmage. Good penetration. Miles Stanley was in there. DeAnthony Philon also for McGill-Toolen. Pritchett, he is going to North Carolina. Missed 5 games this year with mono, but he's back now. Moore, Kimberly, Paradise, and Morgan on the offensive line for the Auburn Tigers, brought to you by Greer's. Plott, the wide receiver, along with Smith, but they're going to throw it. They're going to throw it to Barnes, the tight end, number 18. Look for him. Northcutt, the quarterback, Clark, and Garrett Morris, your running backs. Now looking to throw. Northcutt with pressure coming. DeAnthony Philon is there. Also DeAnthony Washington. It'll be Washington who brings him down. And Philon will be in to help finish it off as well. And they try to throw it in great pressure. And let's look at the starters here for McGill. Stanley, Washington, and Rawls, Marshall, Philon, Arsenault, and Pond. Great linebackers for this McGill team. And a secondary, when the ball's up for grabs, they will go get it. Williams has 7 interceptions on the year. Bendolph, who Vic highlighted to open up the broadcast, Young and Lucas back there, and 3rd and 16. Rolling out Northcutt. Nobody there, has to get out of the way of his own lineman. Now wants to pull it down and get up the far side, and he'll be hit, wrapped up, and dropped down by Carlton Marshall.
Wow. I tell you, no sooner than Jim said it, they were looking for Barnes on the previous play as well as this one. Barnes looks like he was blocking or something, but he was tied up with a McGill defender, so quarterback almost didn't go to the second, third, or any other option.
10th sack of the year for Carlton Marshall. And Sage Ledbetter will stand at his goal line to kick, and McGill, with a great opening drive, now a chance to have wonderful field position as they force a 3 and out, and they force the Tigers backward. Left-footed kicker, he shanks it. Wow, that is going to be down to the 32-yard line, a 16-yard punt.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard the word wonderful used in a football game, but Jim is pinned it, so yes, they have wonderful field position.
Here's what's going on tonight in 7A. Again, 4 games, you know, only 8 teams remaining. Everybody will play next week in the semis, and then the week before the finals. Auburn and McGill here, Lee Montgomery and Central Phoenix City, Spain Park, our old buddy Bart Sessions, defensive coordinator up there, and Vestavia Hills and Hoover matching up tonight. This Auburn team, not a team that, you know, get behind by a big amount early and have to change up what they do. Up the middle, Cole Sharp, his first carry of the night, and he has a first down to the 21-yard line.
You know, it looks a little bit like a week ago. Like one team came out really ready to go and just imposing their will early, and that's been McGill.
Other games going on in 6A tonight. Spanish Fort at Northridge, Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa, and Opelika. One on the road tonight as well. And now Chambers rolling out, pressure from the backside, flips it away and gets it out of bounds. Was being chased. Adam Weingarten wants intentional grounding on that one. 5A tonight. Jackson hosting Eufaula. Helena and Beauregard, Viger and Demopolis, and St. Paul's and Greenville could set up a Viger-St. Paul's rematch next week.
But Greenville's unbeaten.
Yep. Trinity at UMS tonight in 4A. Could have a Leeds-UMS rematch coming up as well. 2nd and 10. Chambers going to keep it right up the middle, and Paris Chambers shows what he can do with his legs, and he's got a first down, and Chambers has a touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Wow, good decision by him to keep that thing if it was a read there. And he just kind of weaved his way around there. Not real flashy and quick with it, but just kind of stopped, slowed down, turn here, turn there. Hey, I got a touchdown.
Yeah,
you can see it unfold right here.
Two plays.
Look at the turn right there. Went real fast and then just up the field.
Well, J.C. Todd, we talked to him a whole bunch before the game, and he said, you know, it all starts with 3.
Yep.
He said, and he can throw it, but what he can do with his legs, extend plays, keep them going. And we saw him extend that play just to be able to get away and throw it out of bounds on first down.
Right.
Good decision.
Right.
And he extended that play all the way to the point where he ended it.
Yep.
In the end zone.
What a start for McGill. Mahler has the Yellow Jackets on top 14-0, so their defense forces the 3 and out, and that wonderful field position, Vic Locker, turns into another score for McGill, and they're on top 14-0 on the Green and Phillips UTV 44 playoff team of the week. UTV 44 game of the week. Brought to you by our friends Green and Phillips, also the Drug Education Council and the Sheriff's Offices of Mobile and Baldwin County, Alpha Insurance, and Pepsi. They'll bring you the halftime show as well. Green to kick off. They try the onside kick. The ball still loose on the field and recovered by the Auburn Tigers. Has good awareness to jump on that ball by Hayden Williams.
Well, we're expecting them to do the surprise onside kick. How about Coach Ross flip the script? He did
going for the jugular there.
Yeah, early.
And that he got the good high kick.
I think this also, guys, don't you think it says, speaks volumes about his confidence in his defense?
Sure.
Like, okay, if we don't get it, I've got 11 guys in orange that I trust.
Yeah.
They only give up 10 points a game.
Yeah.
They've played so well this year.
Well, they held Blunt. Even in the loss, they held Blunt to 17. And when you look back through the season, you see what a great task that was.
Give Garrett Morris, the sophomore, his first carry, and he'll pick up a couple.
Okay, Auburn says now, hey, we just going to play man-on-man football. We're going double tights, no receivers out there. Almost bringing those receivers in to block and see what happens. Pick up 3-4 yards.
Auburn averaging 29 points a game. They have won 5 straight of 6 of the last 7 coming into tonight. Scored 35 straight in the second half against Ashley's Theodore Bobcats last week. Pushing ahead down to the 39-yard line.
That's the only comparable game, and that gave you the impression that McGill could be in for a tough night because they blow out Theodore. McGill beats them on the last play of the game with a field goal.
Yeah. Third and 3. Northcutt give on the left side and pushing forward. And he's going to be a little bit short of the first down.
Yeah, Auburn's trying to assert themselves with that massive offensive line to say, hey, we're going to play some power football, give our defense a little bit of rest and try to kick the sticks doing that. They got a big 4th down right here, Jim.
4th and less than a yard. 2 tight ends. Northcutt going to go on the sneak, but we get a flag beforehand, and that's going to go against Auburn and turn a 4th and 1 into a 4th and 6.
Does he think about it now, Dan, or he just still goes with what he's got going?
The one thing they got is well, let's see if we're going to place this ball down.
Yeah, he's going to be about 4th and 6 or 7.
It's about 6, a little between 5 and 6.
Good ball. False start on the offense. Remains 4th down.
This would be from 60.
Yeah, into the wind. I think this is a punt.
Let's watch for the movement. Yep, right there. TJ Morgan just moved. And so they'll bring Sage Ledbetter on. Ashley's going to tell us later about Sage Ledbetter's 61-yard field goal he had this year. But he's also the punter, and he's got a big leg. But, boy, he had a horrific punt his first time here tonight. Another low snap. A left-footed kicker. The ones that Bill Belichick loves. Drops this one down inside the 10. And a good piece of work there by the Tigers to at least flip the field. But Auburn's defense will have to come back out here again. Let's send it back down for another Orthopedic Group sideline report with Ashley.
Something very interesting to point out. McGill is the only 7A school in Mobile and Baldwin County that is left in the playoffs. That is the total of 32 teams in the whole state that is 7A. And also tonight is considered a quarterfinal for them, where they play one less game than the other classifications. It's good and bad. It avoids injuries, but one less week for making it tough and grinding against every other school and a chance for another victory.
Give ahead to maybe the 15 up to the 16, but a nice piece of just pushing straight ahead. And coming into this game, Caleb Ross was talking about how big they were on both sides of the line, they being the Auburn Tigers. And so far tonight, Vic Lockett, the Orange team is winning this one up front.
Yeah, they are winning in the trenches. You know, we did get a taste there of that offense trying to push them around, but you see they didn't push to a first down.
Out of the backfield, Quay Kennedy trying to turn the corner up the left side, and he will enough to get the first down as he's out near the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 19-yard line.
You know, Ashley, talking about the fact that McGill is the only 7A team left, and that was the whole thing, is that it's Region 1 against Region 3, and Region 3, right?
Region 2, yeah.
Region 2, rather, and they swept them last week, except for McGill.
Kennedy stepped out of bounds just about a foot and a half short of the first down over there on the far side, so it's third and very short here.
Coming up on 10 seconds on the clock.
Trouble getting everybody aligned. Now Chambers does. Chambers wants to keep it. He's going to be hit and dropped and pushed backward, and we see the Auburn defense for the first time here tonight flexing their muscle as Ted Wages came in from the right side and made the stop, and that'll bring up the punt team here. Big stop for the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, they just kind of shot the gap there and wasn't nothing for him to do. Good to see Morgan Brown back out there, too, for the Auburn defense after that big hit he made early. So that young man's A-OK. Now let's see if Auburn can take advantage of some wonderful field position now.
Mailer, that's mine, Vic. You can't have that. That's mine. Mailer,
hey, I'm on your team.
Mailer with the punt. Cordell Plott is back deep, as is Morgan Brown. Good kick. That'll chase Brown back to the 45. He's got it, but he's got some room up the right side. Brown now at the 40. A great field position up to the 33-yard line here for the Auburn Tigers.
Well, you got a new Jim Cox rule, no sharing of adjectives. You know about that. Hey, good sportsmanship is a top priority for Alabama High School Athletic Association and our member schools. And while you enjoy this outstanding event, please give all student athletes your positive support and encouragement. Bullying, taunting, and derogatory remarks directed at opponents or contest officials are unsportsmanlike and unacceptable. And that's a public service message from the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
And no place for any of that in high school football or any.
I might have used poor sportsmanship after the drink spilled up here. I apologize for that.
We already flagged you, Jim. Jared's going to dock your check.
It's on Facebook.
Inside.
It's on Facebook.
Inside. Give gets one.
And, you know, just the eye test, you can see how massive this Auburn offensive line is.
Just keep an eye on that big tight end leaking out.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been watching him since you told me he's their main target.
Now out of the eye, something you don't see much anymore. Put Barnes in motion. It gives to Garrett Morris, the sophomore. And he'll get three more, and he's up to the 28-yard line. Third down coming up here for Auburn.
Weingard said, hey, let me slow this football game down because this McGill offense looks explosive. So give my defense some time to rest, and let's just keep them off the field as much as we can, maybe is what he's thinking is now.
3rd and 5, and now flag prior to the snap again.
I think Jimbo's telling that tight end he can't put his hand in the ground and get set.
See if we can hear from Jimbo this time.
False start on the offense, remains 3rd down.
Jimbo threw that flag like he was throwing the old yard game of jarts, and he whipped that one. Underhanded, good toss by Jimbo.
We've had a lot this year.
Yeah, we have. He gets the big games, we get the big games.
There you go.
Mrs. Perez emailing in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Straightening us out.
Yeah, she's at the game tonight.
Right.
We're good with no emails.
She'll be doing play-by-play in the third quarter of this one.
Let's see if she can read that chart.
3rd and 10.
I doubt it.
Give. Nothing doing for Cedric Clark.
Wow, I am surprised they run it here 3rd and 10.
I was going to say, that says a lot about what this team's all about, just turning around and handing it off 3rd and 10.
Yeah, his previous passes have been sacks or hurries, and they've taken away that first option of their tight end. So maybe Coach Ross and them has got them in their back pocket, so he knows it.
So now they get another flag. They've got too many men out there on the field. It would have been a 49-yard attempt into the wind, and one point Sage Ledbetter was out there.
The legal substitution on the offense remains 4th down.
4th and 15 to start quarter number 2, and now you're in a punting situation.
Okay, I'm not familiar with high school substitution rules. I'm going to be honest with the audience and let them know.
But if you're Adam Weingart, you're going to get to punt into the wind now, and it should be a huge advantage. But boy, 4th and 10, they're having some miscommunication issues over there.
Yep.
Coming back, second quarter action. It's been all McGill to start this one on UTV 44. More of our friends here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week, the Orthopedic Group. They bring us Ashley Sideline reports each week. Advanced Collision. They bring us our Player of the Week all throughout the regular season. And Greer's. You could say Auburn tonight when you talk about Greer's, Vic, because you're talking about the Auburn High School Tigers,
if
right?
I wanted to cash the check, I guess I have to say it tonight. So I think Jared would have a huge problem if I tried to hide it this time.
So Ledbetter will stand at his own 49 with the big north wind to his back. Better snap this time. He's looking to fake. Wants to throw it on the far side, and it's intercepted. Ledbetter faked the whole way, but not buying it was Josh Williams. He did drop it, did not hold on.
Well, I tell you what, that's the first time I've ever seen a competing team try to say on a close catch that he actually caught it, because the field position is worse if he caught it down there.
Oh yeah, that was the good news for McGill, that he didn't catch it. But McGill was not asleep on that play.
Adam
likes to take some chances and roll the dice, and I think he's also looking at this game thinking,
I got to do something.
Yeah, we got to jumpstart something here.
But Caleb Ross said, Coach Weingart, he said he'll fake punt, he'll do all kinds of things. Now Chambers with pressure steps up, keeps the play going, and now he's going to be hit and dropped back at the 31. Pocket collapsed on him. Michael Robinson, one of the first ones in there.
Well, there might be some more shots down the field, because I think that Weingarten and J.C. Todd are not just going to sit back and let McGill pick them apart like that. They're going to maybe take a page out of McGill's book, Jim, and start to bring more pressure and more people.
Yeah, to agitate Chambers. Don't let him get comfortable back there.
Chambers looking right side now over the middle of the field and dropped. Marlon Williams couldn't hold on to it.
Because he has had some clean pockets thus far until that previous play.
Now 3rd and 17 coming up here for the Yellow Jackets.
Another clean pocket for him to operate in. He delivered the football.
Yeah,
receiver just didn't pull it in.
Good throw.
Chambers, Dan talked about it, over 67% of his passes this year. Throwing for 16 touchdowns now, or 2,200 yards. And 3rd and 17. Auburn brought a good crowd down here tonight to watch this quarterfinal matchup. Looking for a screen. Come back to Marlon Williams right up the middle of the field. Williams still on his feet. And he's up to the 46, and it's going to bring up 4th and about 2.5.
Yeah, maybe less than that, Jim. I mean, he nearly stretched it out there. They put down here, it'll be too short, but just a screen pass. And look at the blockers downfield, and they're not just downfield, they're engaged.
McGill's going for it. 4th and a long 2.
Going to try to draw him off here, guys.
And I think he's going to go.
I think they're going to send the punt team out now.
Oh, trick me then.
Chase Mahler ready to punt. Morgan Brown, good to see him back in the game. With that big hit on the first play, will fair catch this one at the 15-yard line.
You know, I'd like to see, and I don't think I've ever seen this in the times we've done games together. You have a team with their offense on the field, then they rush out. The punt team has to say, okay, just kidding, and then they fake it. That would be snap it to an up man. That would just give a defensive coach whiplash.
From Dan's back pocket.
Shane Sullivan drawing that one up on the sidelines now for the McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets.
That'd be cool, though, huh?
Jeff Williams on the other side.
Sell that.
Well, I don't
Dan's
think so.
Back pocket.
Because I just go, okay, the whole pocket.
Northcutt with the give, and Morris up to the 25-yard line.
Talk about the injuries. When a big 7A team that's got a young 170-pound sophomore at running back, you know.
That was actually my mistake. That was Clark.
That was Clark that time.
Carry there, yeah.
No, he's 5'8", 190, so he's no slouch.
You know, their pass-to-run ratio is 6-1 here coming into the season. They don't throw it a whole bunch. They only have one player with more than 8 catches, and that's Noah Barnes, the big tight end. And this will be good for a first down as they move it across the 30.
They just do what they do well. You know, a team has an identity like that. Sometimes you can have injuries and survive because everybody else is still on the same page.
Yeah, because, you know, you just like you said, they're doing exactly what everyone does, what they do. And if you step in there, you're doing what the man in front of you are doing.
Right.
1st and 10. Rolling out. I dumped this one out of the backfield to Morris, and this is the sophomore Dan talked about. He's got a big gainer across the 40 all the way down inside the 30 and brought down to the 25-yard line.
What a job Noah Barnes did, just engaging the defender and driving him downfield 20 yards, you know, to block for his back out there. You guys talking about the catching. How about the tight end doing what he normally gets paid to do?
Yeah, and the tight
coming
end,
to the picture here.
He catches a lot of balls, but look at him.
All the way down the field.
Yeah.
41-yard pickup for the Tigers, and Aaron Business at the 25. Just underway in the second quarter. Clark bottled up. Miles Stanley, the junior, filling a lot of room up there. Hey, let's get you our New Horizons Credit Union trivia question. This Auburn High School graduate is one of only 3 British-born players to win a Super Bowl. Played at Auburn, born in Britain, won a Super Bowl.
Wow. Stumped everyone on that one.
We go deep in the playoffs as the give is up to Clark to the 20-yard line. Call it the 21.
Trey Young saved the touchdown there, taking the tackle back there from his safety position. Doing exactly what he's supposed to.
3rd down and 6.
You want to explain the racket that our listeners are hearing?
It's not the buzzing sound. It's not the buzzing sound effect, which is illegal.
But it sounds like it a little bit.
It does.
It's from Great Britain, isn't it?
It's very soccer-like. It's the give on the far side. Kobe Smith lost the football out of bounds, but picks up a couple on 4th down coming. Now we're going to see if Adam Weingart just wants to get some points on the board with his strong leg kicker, if he feels field goals aren't going to be enough here tonight, down by 2 scores already.
I tell you what, this McGill defense is like a bunch of buzzing, scrappy bees. I mean, they are just after you. I mean, it's like one bullet after another, like an automatic weapon.
4th and a long 4. High backfield. Northcutt. Play clock at 10. Drops back, looking to throw, looking for the tight end. Barnes, and he overthrew him. So they don't use the special teams. They go for it on 4th down, and they get stopped. And special teams had already been a part of this one.
For the rare time that this quarterback makes a mistake, you know, Dan chronicled that he's usually pretty efficient. That time just a little bit too tall.
And let's go to
for the 6'4" Barnes.
Ashley has a report on the special teams. All right, we'll come back to that. Chambers in the McGill offense. That one too low for Marlon Williams to hold on to.
You know, Auburn, by the way, they had what they wanted. They had their big target, and they had the first down. And it was a little surprising to see the quarterback overthrow him.
2nd and 10 for Chambers. McGill scoring their first 2 possessions. Chambers all kinds of time. He's going to pull it down. Gets dropped. Football came loose. Picked up and recovered by Auburn. And rolling down the near side to the 10. Falling on the loose football. Rollins, Cleveland, and Chambers is very slow to get up. And this could be a big game-changing play right here.
Yeah, he just got it knocked loose there at the very end.
Wages,
clearly a fumble.
Wages again was the one who knocked it loose, and Rollins, Cleveland, his 2nd fumble recovery of the year, has Auburn at the 10. And you can see Paris Chambers there took a big lick from Wages, who caused a fumble last week against Theodore, and knocks another one loose here tonight.
Yeah, that's on his throwing shoulder too.
Look at this formation in the backfield. Give Octavius Whitfield will get maybe a yard. Whitfield, a junior.
That formation is a run strong formation. They're telling you right now, we're coming right at you, right between the tackles.
I mean, that play, you had 22 players all in this tiny little halo.
Sure.
Yeah, like all within the hash marks.
Right.
And I think in that formation, you give McGill defensive favor. You know, if they get all their scrappy guys right in there, somebody's going to make a play.
They fake to Clark, rolling to the near side, and that one thrown behind the intended receiver, and bring up 3rd down as he was trying to get Morris out of the backfield.
Yeah, and again, you know, there was some pressure. McGill gets in there and makes the quarterback uncomfortable, and that probably was the difference in that play.
If you're flipping over and catching this game tonight on Saturday night when you're seeing it, wondering what the heck. Again, Alabama High School Athletic Association rules do not allow us to do the games in the playoffs live on Friday nights. So that's why we have to be tape delayed. So many people missing the start of the Alabama LSU game watching us last week. Now, all kinds of trouble for Auburn as everyone moved except the center and the quarterback.
And I guarantee you those two knew the snap count.
Wow.
I wouldn't vote against those two. Even 2 to 10.
Wow, a minute. This is old news, but Jimbo Perez. 3rd and 14 coming up. This is old news at this point, but how about UMS on top 29-0 a minute into the 2nd quarter.
That's big. That's big.
Over Trinity. Spanish Fort up 21-0 over Northridge. Northcutt blitz coming. Got it to the near side, complete, and they get just back to about the original line of scrimmage and not much more.
Yeah, I think they didn't hold up their blocks at all. Even though it was a screen, they should have stood in front of them just a little bit because that pressure was coming, and it came at the snap of the football.
I know. Adam Weingart says, we just got to try to get some points on the board. We got to get some kind of positive out of this because we got the ball at the 10, and we've gone nowhere here on this drive. And left-footed kicker at the near hash. This will be from 27. Good snap. And the kick is good, and Ledbetter gets the Tigers on the board. McGill's defense does a good job to prevent a touchdown there, having to come out at the 10. And flag,
hang on.
Flag, hold on.
Just stay here.
Flag right at the line of scrimmage. Jimbo Perez and Marcus Lucas talking that one over.
Looks like it's going to be some kind of infraction, may give them a first down.
4th and 9 from the 10. They could get a first down at the 1. Caleb Ross wants an explanation. Jimbo Perez saying, get back.
Listen with everyone else, huh?
Got a personal foul. Roughing the snapper on the defense. It comes with an automatic first down. Half the distance to the goal.
Well, there's the Auburn guys' first gift tonight.
Yeah, saw that in the Alabama-Georgia game.
Yes.
Let's see here. Can't hit the center with his head down on those long snaps.
Yeah, the snapper is the tight end, Jim.
Yep. And he got hit, so take the 3 off the board. And Auburn, 1st and goal at the 5. Pitch it to Clark. Clark nowhere to go as he's going to lose a yard.
You know, that penalty didn't come with any guarantees.
You're right.
Well, he may be guaranteed to kick it again if they don't fumble.
I'm telling you.
But Miles Stanley had a beat on him there, didn't he?
Boy, I saw Drew Williams, number 85, get hit from behind. Rolled up. Glad he's okay and up. That looked a little dangerous up there at the top of the screen, but no worries, it appears, for Williams. Rolling out. Northcutt looking. Pressure. Steps up in the pocket. Pulls it down. And he's down to the 3-yard line. You can see he again wanted to go to Barnes, the tight end.
Man, he made the right decision because it was 3-2, and it was McGill's favor. They had 2 receiver routes over here, but it was 3 defenders over there, and you saw him take that peek, and he was like,
Thing about Barnes, though, McGill may have people around him, but nobody is 6'4".
Throw it up.
Throw it up. That may not give you a shot.
I don't know. I bet some of those kids back there got some pretty good verticals.
3rd and goal from the 2. Northcutt, the give, stood up, bouncing to the outside as Clark, and gets nowhere, and some push-ups to accentuate the play at the end by DeAnthony Washington.
Man, they got some linebackers on this team that really come and get you.
And that was a nose tackle there.
Yeah, DeAnthony.
All right, Coach, you had 3, took it off the board. Now you got a 4th and goal from, that pushed him back from the 2 to the 4. Got to kick it again here.
Okay, now if they miss this kick, they might as well get on the bus. It's not their night.
Well,
especially with a proficient kicker like they have.
Yeah, I don't think they will get on the bus, but I get your point.
Yeah.
And they did the right thing by taking the points off the board.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So this will be a 26-yard attempt. Good snap. And the kick is good, so we're at the same place we were, except we played 4 more downs to get there. 14-3, Auburn gets on the board. 4 minutes to go in the second. Green and Phillips UTV 44 playoff game of the week. Here. More of our friends here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. The Orthopedic Group. They bring us Ashley Sideline reports each week. Advanced Collision. They bring us our Player of the Week all throughout the regular season. And Greer's. You could say Auburn tonight when you talk about Greer's, Vic, because you're talking about the Auburn High School Tigers, right?
If I wanted to cash the check, I guess I have to say it tonight. So I think Jared would have a huge problem if I tried to hide it this time.
So Ledbetter will stand at his own 49 with the big north wind to his back. Better snap this time. He's looking to fake. Wants to throw it on the far side, and it's intercepted. Ledbetter faked the whole way, but not buying it was Josh Williams. He did drop it, did not hold on.
Well,
okay.
I tell you what, that's the first time I've ever seen a competing team try to say on a close catch that he actually caught it, because, you know, the field position is worse if he caught it down there.
Oh, yeah, that was the good news for McGill, that he didn't catch it, but McGill was not asleep on that play.
Adam
likes to take some chances and roll the dice, and I think he's also looking at this game thinking,
I got to do something.
Yeah, we got to jumpstart something here.
But Caleb Ross said, you know, Coach Weingart, he said he'll fake punt, he'll do all kinds of things. Now Chambers with pressure steps up, keeps the play going, and now he's going to be hit and dropped back at the 31. Pocket collapsed on him. Michael Robinson, one of the first ones in there.
Well, there might be some more shots down the field, because I think that Weingarten and J.C. Todd are not just going to sit back and let McGill pick them apart like that. They're going to maybe take a page out of McGill's book, Jim, and start to bring more pressure and more people.
Yeah, to agitate Chambers. Don't let him get comfortable back there.
Chambers looking right side now over the middle of the field and dropped. Marlon Williams couldn't hold on to it.
Because he has had some clean pockets thus far until that previous play.
Now 3rd and 17 coming up here for the Yellow Jackets.
Another clean pocket for him to operate in. He delivered the football.
Yeah,
Receiver just didn't pull it in.
Good throw.
Chambers, Dan talked about it, over 67% of his passes this year. Throwing for 16 touchdowns now, or 2,200 yards. And 3rd and 17. Auburn brought a good crowd down here tonight to watch this quarterfinal matchup. Looking for a screen. Come back to Marlon Williams right up the middle of the field. Williams still on his feet. And he's up to the 46, and it's going to bring up 4th and about 2.5.
Yeah, maybe less than that, Jim. I mean, he nearly stretched it out there. They put down there, it'll be too short, but just a screen pass. And look at the blockers downfield, and they're not just downfield, they're engaged.
McGill's going for it. 4th and a long 2.
Going to try to draw him off here, guys.
And I think he's going to go.
They're going to send the punt team out now.
Oh, trick me then.
Chase Mahler, ready to punt. Morgan Brown, good to see him back in the game. With that big hit on the first play, will fair catch this one at the 15-yard line.
You know what I'd like to see, and I don't think I've ever seen this in the times we've done games together. You have a team with their offense on the field, then they rush out the punt team as to say, okay, just kidding, and then they fake it. That would be snap it to an up man. That would just give a defensive coach whiplash.
From Dan's back pocket.
Shane Sullivan drawing that one up on the sidelines now for the McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets.
That'd be cool, though, huh?
Jeff Williams on the other side.
Sell that.
Well, I don't think so.
Back pocket.
Because I just go, okay, the whole pocket.
Northcutt with the give, and Morris up to the 25-yard line.
Talk about the injuries. When a big 7A team that's got a young 170-pound sophomore at running back, you know.
That was actually my mistake. That was Clark.
That was Clark that time.
Carry there, yeah.
Well, he's 5'8", 190, so he's no slouch.
You know, their pass-to-run ratio is 6-1 here coming into the season. They don't throw it a whole bunch. They only have one player with more than 8 catches, and that's Noah Barnes, the big tight end. This will be good for a first down as they move it across the 30.
They just do what they do well. You know, a team has an identity like that. Sometimes you can have injuries and survive because everybody else is still on the same page.
Yeah, because, you know, you just like you said, they're doing exactly what everyone does, what they do. And if you step in there, you're doing what the man in front of you would do.
Right.
1st and 10, rolling out. I dumped this one out of the backfield to Morris, and this is the sophomore Dan talked about. And he's got a big gainer across the 40 all the way down inside the 30 and brought down to the 25-yard line.
What a job Noah Barnes did, just engaging the defender and driving him downfield 20 yards, you know, to block for his back out there. You guys talking about the catching. How about the tight end doing what he normally gets paid to do?
Yeah, and the tight
coming
end,
to the picture here.
He catches a lot of balls, but look at him.
All the way down the field.
Yeah.
41-yard pickup for the Tigers, and Aaron Business at the 25. Just underway in the second quarter. Clark bottled up. Miles Stanley, the junior, filling a lot of room up there. Hey, let's get you our New Horizons Credit Union trivia question. This Auburn High School graduate is one of only 3 British-born players to win a Super Bowl. Played at Auburn, born in Britain, won a Super Bowl.
Wow. Stumped everyone on that one.
Go deep in the playoffs as the give is up to Clark to the 20-yard line. Call it the 21.
Trey Young saved the touchdown there, taking the tackle back there from his safety position. Doing exactly what he's supposed to.
3rd down and 6.
You want to explain the racket that our listeners are hearing?
It's not the buzzing sound. It's not the buzzing sound effect, which is illegal.
But it sounds like it a little bit.
It does.
It's from Great Britain, isn't it?
It's very soccer-like. It's the give on the far side. Kobe Smith lost the football out of bounds, but picks up a couple on 4th down coming. Now we're going to see if Adam Weingart just wants to get some points on the board with his strong leg kicker, if he feels field goals aren't going to be enough here tonight, down by 2 scores already.
I tell you what, this McGill defense is like a bunch of buzzing, scrappy bees. I mean, they are just after you. I mean, it's like one bullet after another, like an automatic weapon.
4th and a long 4. High backfield. Northcutt. Play clock at 10. Drops back, looking to throw, looking for the tight end Barnes, and he overthrew him. So they don't use the special teams. They go for it on 4th down, and they get stopped. And special teams had already been a part of this one.
For the rare time that this quarterback makes a mistake, you know, Dan chronicled that he's usually pretty efficient. That time just a little bit too tall.
And let's go to
for the 6'4" Barnes.
Ashley has a report on the special teams. All right, we'll come back to that. Chambers in the McGill offense. That one too low for Marlon Williams to hold on to.
You know, Auburn, by the way, they had what they wanted. They had their big target, and they had the first down. And it was a little surprising to see the quarterback overthrow him.
2nd and 10 for Chambers. McGill scoring their first 2 possessions. Chambers all kinds of time. He's going to pull it down. Gets dropped. Football came loose. Picked up and recovered by Auburn. And rolling down the near side to the 10. Falling on the loose football. Rollins, Cleveland, and Chambers is very slow to get up. And this could be a big game-changing play right here.
Yeah, he just got it knocked loose there at the very end. Clearly a fumble.
Wages again was the one who knocked it loose, and Rollins, Cleveland, his 2nd fumble recovery of the year, has Auburn at the 10. And you can see Paris Chambers there took a big lick from Wages, who caused a fumble last week against Theodore, and knocks another one loose here tonight.
Yeah, that's on his throwing shoulder too.
Look at this formation in the backfield. Give Octavius Whitfield will get maybe a yard. Whitfield, a junior.
That formation is a run strong formation. They're telling you right now, we're coming right at you, right between the tackles.
I mean, that play, you had 22 players all in this tiny little halo.
Sure.
Yeah, like all within the hash marks.
Right.
And I think in that formation, you giving McGill defensive favor. You know, if they get all their scrappy guys right in there, somebody's going to make a play.
They fake to Clark, rolling to the near side, and that one thrown behind the intended receiver, and bring up 3rd down as he was trying to get Morris out of the backfield.
Yeah, and again, you know, there was some pressure. McGill gets in there and makes the quarterback uncomfortable, and that probably was the difference in that play.
If you're flipping over and catching this game tonight on Saturday night when you're seeing it, wondering what the heck. Again, Alabama High School Athletic Association rules do not allow us to do the games in the playoffs live on Friday nights. So that's why we have to be tape delayed. So many people missing the start of the Alabama LSU game watching us last week. Now, all kinds of trouble for Auburn as everyone moved except the center and the quarterback.
And I guarantee you those two knew the snap count.
Wow.
I wouldn't vote against those two. Even 2 to 10.
Wow, a minute. This is old news, but Jimbo Perez. 3rd and 14 coming up. This is old news at this point, but how about UMS on top 29-0 a minute into the 2nd quarter.
That's big. That's big.
Over Trinity. Spanish Fort up 21-0 over Northridge. Northcutt blitz coming. Got it to the near side complete, and they get just back to about the original line of scrimmage and not much more.
Yeah, I think they didn't hold up their blocks at all. Even though it was a screen, they should have stood in front of them just a little bit because that pressure was coming, and it came at the snap of the football.
Now, Adam Weingart says, we just got to try to get some points on the board. We got to get some kind of positive out of this because we got the ball at the 10, and we've gone nowhere here on this drive. And left-footed kicker at the near hash. This will be from 27. Good snap. And the kick is good, and Ledbetter gets the Tigers on the board. McGill's defense does a good job to prevent a touchdown there, having to come out at the 10. And flag, flag, hold on.
Just stay here.
Flag right at the line of scrimmage. Jimbo Perez and Marcus Lucas talking that one over.
Looks like it's going to be some kind of infraction, may give them a first down.
4th and 9 from the 10. They could get a first down at the 1. Caleb Ross wants an explanation. Jimbo Perez saying, get back.
Listen with everyone else, huh?
Got a personal foul. Roughing the snapper on the defense. It comes with an automatic first down. Half the distance to the goal.
Well, there's the Auburn guys' first gift tonight.
Yeah, saw that in the Alabama-Georgia game.
Yes.
Let's see here. Can't hit the center with his head down on those long snaps.
Yeah, the snapper is the tight end, Jim.
Yep. And he got hit, so take the 3 off the board. And Auburn, first and goal at the 5. Pitch it to Clark. Clark nowhere to go as he's going to lose a yard.
You know, that penalty didn't come with any guarantees.
You're right.
Well, he may be guaranteed to kick it again if they don't fumble.
I'm telling you.
But Miles Stanley had a beat on him there, didn't he?
Boy, I saw Drew Williams, number 85, get hit from behind. Rolled up. Glad he's okay and up. That looked a little dangerous up there at the top of the screen, but no worries, it appears, for Williams. Rolling out. Northcutt looking. Pressure. Steps up in the pocket. Pulls it down. And he's down to the 3-yard line. You can see he again wanted to go to Barnes, the tight end.
Man, he made the right decision because it was 3-2, and it was McGill's favor. They had 2 receiver routes over here, but it was 3 defenders over there, and you saw him take that peek, and he's like,
Thing about Barnes, though, McGill may have people around him, but nobody is 6'4".
Throw it up.
Throw it up. Let them not give you a shot.
I don't know. I bet some of those kids back there got some pretty good verticals.
3rd and goal from the 2. Northcutt, the give, stood up, bouncing to the outside as Clark, and gets nowhere, and some push-ups to accentuate the play at the end by DeAnthony Washington.
Man, they got some linebackers on this team that really come and get you.
And that was a nose tackle there.
Yeah, DeAnthony.
All right, Coach, you had 3, took it off the board. Now you got a 4th and goal from, that pushed him back from the 2 to the 4. Got to kick it again here.
Okay, now if they miss this kick, they might as well get on the bus. It's not their night.
Well,
especially with a proficient kicker like they have.
Yeah, I don't think they will get on the bus, but I get your point.
Yeah.
And they did the right thing by taking the points off the board.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So this will be a 26-yard attempt. Good snap. And the kick is good, so we're at the same place we were, except we played 4 more downs to get there. 14-3, Auburn gets on the board. 4 minutes to go in the second. Green and Phillips UTV 44 playoff game of the week. Here. Friday Night Lights here at the Lip. It's an interesting series, to say the least. And now we'll see if anything interesting happens here with Sage Ledbetter kicking off. We're watching him make those 50 yards before the game, Dan, and you walked up to me. You're like, dang, he looks like a safety. Like he could be out there playing in the secondary for you.
Big athlete.
Big leg. And that one goes into the end zone. Yeah, when you got a kicker like that and a coach like Adam Weingart, you never know what you're going to see. Huh, Ashley?
That is true. Coach Weingart likes to make it unique with his special teams. He will provide multiple onside kicks with different punt formations, fake punts, you name it. The onside kicks can be tricky, especially with playing on the turf. You never know how the balls will bounce. This actual week, McGill practiced on this field on onside kicks to just practice how the ball will bounce.
And ironically, McGill is the first one to try an onside kick.
It was like a race. It was a race to see.
They were practicing so much.
Chambers Outside gets it to Marlon Williams, and Williams pushed out of bounds the 26-yard line. We'll call it the 27.
So we can assume Paris is A-OK?
Yeah.
Or is that new
You
guy?
can still, it's a wrist. Looks like a wrist. You can see just, well, that was Marlon Williams holding it there. Roberson turns the corner and cuts it as Vic Lockett loves to see. Started going to the north.
Yes, get it going vertical, young man. That is where the first down marker is, and they did kick the sticks and get a first down. Got a good block out there by Chris Robbins, I think it was, 66.
Chambers he's right back off to Roberson. Roberson up to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, when I see Roberson, it reminds me of that 25 they had a couple of years ago. Ito, who's now running it for the Golden Eagles.
Yes.
And running it well.
Yes.
Had some talent on that team. McGill-Toolen did. 2nd and 7. Roberson to the right, got a good block, and he's got a first down across midfield, and he was one ankle tackle away from going in for the touchdown there.
Yeah, he got vertical with it. You know, he kept slanted, and then he saw some room, and he was like, I'll take that.
Just across midfield. And Chambers and the Yellow Jackets driving again. Chambers steps up, fires, has that one complete at the 40, up to the 35-yard line. It's
Jalen Tolbert did a good job just catching that with all hands.
And McGill, great pass there, and now they're going tempo. They're challenging Auburn to get back and line up.
Tolbert, the junior, with the reception. And then down to the 34-yard line. Clark goes in motion, the big tight end to the right. Chambers will roll that way. Now steps up, has time, looking for the end zone, fires it up there and incomplete. Brown back there with good coverage on Tolbert.
And Jalen wanted to make sure he had some real estate to run under that thing, and when he took his eye off the ball, he ran out of gas, I think, getting there.
Even if you don't complete those, Vic, taking those shots down the field still buys you more real estate up around the line of scrimmage
No
sometimes.
doubt about it. Now you're going to have those safeties really sticking back there a beat or two longer, not coming up there helping force on the run.
There you go.
2nd and 10. Chambers fakes, now goes to the other side. It's a complete gain of just a couple.
Pretty good defense by Auburn to not go for the okey doke with the double screen move.
You can see Auburn is sound.
Yeah, sure. Rembert with the catch there. The juniors had a big season. 30 catches on the season now. Yeah, back in the Murphy game, you might remember he was the player of the game. And his mom, my favorite parking attendant lady in any of the games we come to, always welcomes me in here to the Lip.
Yeah, I had one tonight said I'd like to give a shout out to Happy Hill. I said, I'll do it. I do it for Pritchett all the time. I'm from Pritchett, so Happy Hill, a shout out to him.
Gonna get a timeout here with 3rd and 9 coming up.
Even though all that public housing is vacant right now, Jim. And we'll do some reconstruction over there to make everything better.
Things can always get better, Vic Lockett.
Yeah, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, man.
Coach Ross is like he's going to get the group over, and he wants to go up in here with 21 points in the half.
You know, I just really like Coach Ross's demeanor whenever we deal with him, Dan, whether it's during the week or out here on the field.
Good dude,
isn't he? Yeah, man, a great guy, and you just like his demeanor, the way he approaches things.
You know, he's a young head coach, and there's a lot that goes along with that, the responsibility. I mean, you're the face of the program, and it takes a certain cut of people to do it, and then a different cut to do it well.
Yeah, and so far this year, it looks like he is that cut. He thrust into the position last year, but a couple of years ago, but looks like he's got the ship going in the right direction now.
3rd and 9.
Big for the Auburn defense here to try to get off the field.
From the 34, Chambers comes to the near side. Williams makes the catch, spins again, as we've seen him do so many times. This is going to be depending on the spot.
He's going to be short. He did a little too much spinning for me, Jim.
But boy, he's going
right there. Just go up the field.
I think he's got the first down, Dick Lockett.
Does he? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I think that's Rembert that we saw spinning.
Yep.
In one of the games, Murphy.
Williams with the spin and catch, and he has the first. Up the near side, Rowland still on his feet. Down to the 20, maybe the 19.
Yeah, the only thing stopped him was his own blocker.
Roberson, and you can see McGill wanted to keep that tempo going again. Roberson got up out of the pile and sprinted back off, and now they bring him out, and they'll bring Quay Kennedy back in the backfield.
They're challenging Auburn in every way. They're making them run sideline to sideline. They're making them line up quickly.
2nd and 5 and a fresh back. This is Kennedy in there, and he's got the touchdown. 20 yards for the Yellow Jackets.
Like how he accelerated, just split 2 defenders that were in great shape to make the play, Dan. But he turns on the Jets and just goes right between them, right there. 2 guys there, missed tackle. Coach Weingart's going to have a conversation about it at halftime with him.
Impressive again are the Yellow Jackets on offense. And Naylor comes on for the PAT, and it's 21-3. 21-3 McGill.
21-3 here. I hear it's 21-0 into the first for Spanish Fort. So
yep, up on the road.
Local
And
teams in good
Northridge.
shape right now. 2 of them at least.
Blunt leading 10-7 at the moment. Let's go down to Ashley. She's got a special guest on the sidelines.
That is right. I've caught up with EJ May. EJ, last night plays for South Alabama. You had a tremendous interception last night that helped close the deal on a victory for the Jacks. Tell me a little bit about that.
I basically I sat on the route and I read the quarterback. I know our team needed a big play. I was having to make my brother proud.
And EJ, we know that you once attended McGill. You're a high recruit. You chose South Alabama. Being here tonight on the sidelines, round 2 of the playoffs, what is something that is going through the players' minds right now?
Hey, some of them probably was nervous, but nah, they done got a couple of points on the board. I'm sure they done calm down a little bit, see they can see how the game flow is going. I think they're gonna be okay.
And really fast, what is your prediction in this game?
The Yellow Jackets gonna win.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Good to see from A.J. May, and now picking this one up is Morgan Brown all the way up near midfield. Special teams, Ashley talked about it. That one looked almost disastrous. Goes 34 yards as Brown, look at that helmet. He's had a hard night tonight. His helmet is all twisted around. Ooh.
I'll tell you one thing. That is a tough kid right there.
He's looking for contact, isn't he?
He's a good player. But yeah, he
kind of let that one bounce around, and
Yep.
McGill was coming, and pretty soon he got it, and McGill was coming with so much force once he was going the other way.
over pursued.
Yeah.
There you go.
Surprising score. Greenville leading St. Paul's 14-9 at the moment. Northcutt looks lots of times, zips it near side, nearly intercepted as Trey Bendoff. Dick Lockett.
There's no level of the McGill defense that isn't proficient at what they do.
Yeah, and you know, I chronicled that guy there ahead of the program, and you guys were wondering, but there you go. He competes. If he's got the ball in his area, he's fighting for it. He had a clean pocket that time and still went there in a bad spot.
2nd and 10. McGill rushes just 3, and Northcutt fires, gets it off complete. As Robert Smith has his 9th catch of the season. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
Quick release, nice throw.
Yeah, he drilled that one in there with the defender right in the hip pocket, but he's confident enough to put it in there, and the receiver had the body shield on him, so that enabled him to make the catch in front of the DB.
All right, timeout here with 43 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. This is an important drive. Auburn takes the timeout. You know, talking about this Auburn team, boy, they have just unbelievable facilities up there. I mean, a lot of support for the university as well, being right there, obviously in the same city. Just a great program and a great setup for Coach Weingarten.
Likewise, right next door in Opelika. I mean, they're basically two towns that are just border each other up there.
It's Coach Weingarten and his kids, ball boys out there shagging balls before the game.
We met them at the pregame.
They've grown up. I mean,
yeah, they're getting big.
He's got a daughter who's very talented in the performing arts as well.
Adam's a good guy.
Oh, we always liked him.
He's happy to see us.
He's got a really great friend, Doug Harrell, who's a dentist in Fairhope, who's great friends with Adam. Always tunes in to watch these games. Loves watching our games on Friday night or Saturdays in the playoffs. Third and less than a yard, and Northcutt pushes it forward. He's going to have the first down. Now you got 40 seconds left. They'll move the chains.
Yeah, right there. They're just trying to establish getting a reset of downs and then give them 4 to work with.
They got 2 timeouts left. They're not a big down the field throw the ball team.
They have to turn into it here.
Bradley Northcutt, the 3-year starter, pump fake, wants to go down the far side, lobs it up, and unable to hold on to it was Smith, and had a chance for the grab down around the 10.
I think off his back foot. Northcutt, again, pressure coming toward Bradley Northcutt. He gets rid of it. Shows a lot of arm for the fact that he's just trying to get rid of it. Really can't step into it.
Yeah, D'Anthony Washington.
Yeah, nose tackle again. A little kiss hello.
Yeah, I like the way Robert Smith located the football and tried to put himself in position to catch it.
Clot split out to the bottom of the screen in the slot as the big tight end Barnes. Northcutt rolls to the right. Still eyes downfield. Now just has to throw this one away.
You can see he's a good player. He's a heady player.
Smart kid.
Yeah, McGill's just got their number. He's probably not had to play against many defenses that are this fast and willing to play within a system like McGill.
Yeah, they're sound.
And Ernest Hill has got, the defensive coordinator for McGill, has just got him playing such as a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
3rd and 10 from the 40 and only 18 seconds left. Northcutt with the blitz coming. Comes to the near side. It's incomplete as Plott can't hold on to it, and that would have got him down close into field goal range.
Yeah, a team that doesn't throw it a lot is not going to catch it as well.
Great point.
And so even when Northcutt's been on point, it's not
on the opposite end. It hadn't connected.
Not what they do.
And he's had some pretty good pockets here lately. Started out the game, McGill was harassing him to death, but he's had some chances now. But like you said, if he puts it there, they're just not connected.
All right, 4th and 10 from the 40 with just 11 seconds left in the half. Northcutt looking for the end zone, wants Barnes, and it's incomplete.
And I think he got his hands on that one too.
He did. With just 2 seconds left.
He could have muscled on in.
6'4", 190 pounds, and went up and had a chance to pull that one down. And I thought McGill's defense here in the first half.
Fantastic.
The only points they gave up were after a
this
turnover.
way all year. I'm not surprised a bit.
You're right. Just you get to this point of the season,
but you would think the competition would be much better and compete against some more.
It's a team that got 45 against Theodore last week. So you walk into this, you walk through the gates tonight thinking, McGill could be in for a real tough opponent tonight, but so far it's been this McGill defense at every level, line of scrimmage, linebacker, and defensive backs, nothing but excellence.
I heard that last week prior to Alabama LSU.
I know you didn't hear it during a Georgia game.
And that somebody was going to have 100 and some yards, and they were going to have great offense, but not the case.
All right, let's go down to the sidelines as Ashley has got Coach Caleb Ross.
Coach Ross, your defense is just dominating this first half. How do you keep it going?
Well, we got the same momentum, got to do the same stuff. Great game plan we had on both sides of the ball. Kids are going out executing. I can't ask for a better first half against a good football team like Auburn.
And something that Coach Weingarten is famous for is the onside kicks. Right now tonight, you started that off.
Yeah, we thought we had it, and unfortunately, we had a good kick. We just didn't execute, didn't get it.
Great. Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank y'all.
All right, Coach Caleb Ross and his team up 21-3 here at the half. Impressive first half for McGill-Toolen. They are trying to get to the semis with a win here tonight, and they're 24 minutes away from doing it right now. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the Auburn band will be out on the field first, and we'll bring it to you coming up right after this. Halftime here at the Lip. It's all home team, 21-3. The Yellow Jackets on top of the Auburn Tigers. And let's go down and enjoy the Auburn marching band. They're huge, like their team is, here on the Pepsi Halftime Show.
High School Marching Band.
Got it. Power.
Pepsi Halftime Show rolls on here on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. Great job by the Auburn band here on the Pepsi Halftime Show. Let's go down now and we can enjoy the McGill-Toolen marching band. can see our halftime score on the Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week. McGill-Toolen with a dominant performance in the first half. And just like you said it, Dana, at all phases, McGill has been better to start this ball game tonight.
Yeah, they have. What's got my attention is that defense, man. At each level of the defense, they're all competing, running to the ball, and doing their job.
All right, if you're Adam Weingarten, you're down 21-3. You've been very frustrated that first half. What are you telling them, Vic?
Well, you tell them you still got plenty of time to play the football game. You got to change some things because, McGill is stymied them on everything else that they came in with their game plan.
Right.
So certainly they've made some adjustments, some changes to get back in this football game.
It's been impressive. McGill, I mean, they had got the ball first, marched it down the field 80 yards to get the touchdown. Paris Chambers able to go up and high point this one for Marlon Williams. That made it 14-0, and then quickly Chambers takes it right back down here on a 22-yard touchdown run. And that made it a 14-0 game, and McGill had it in hand. And then scrambling out, fumble here, all the way down in the 10. Auburn gets it. They kick a field goal, roughing the snapper. They get it first to goal at the 5, and they go backwards again, and they end up with a field goal. And then here's Quake Kennedy ripping one off for a touchdown there, and 21-3 our score at the half. And McGill just 83 yards in the first half is all they give up to the Auburn Tigers, and Auburn with some penalties hurting them as well. McGill had just the one penalty, half the distance to the goal line penalty there on the roughing the snapper.
And I'll tell you what really jumps out is not just the total yards for Auburn guys, but the rushing yards, because that's what they do. That is their bread and butter. Only 29 rushing yards in the first half, and now they find themselves down 18 points, which may lead them away from their bread and butter even more.
Well, that's the other point I failed to mention is that, like I said, they've got to change what their philosophy is, because otherwise, if they just keep running the football against this brick wall that is McGill, they're going to end up giving it back to that offense, and they're just going to continue to give points after points after points. So you've got to change what you're doing. And
can you start to throw it around a little bit if you need to? And can you against this defense? Two big questions there.
Yeah, and they just didn't look that comfortable trying to throw the ball. They got a few more yards than they did rushing. They got one big play, but they've been, I think Vic put it best. They've just been stymied at nearly anything and everything they've tried to do against this McGill defense. And obviously, when McGill has the ball, they've had some success.
Yeah, and your defense is going to be asked to make a stop to open things up here. And Coach Ross was saying, hey, we think we got to be ready for how this team comes out in the second half, because they have a lot of pride up there in Auburn. They're a team that can make some things happen, and they'll have the ball to start things off. And Coach Ross used the onside kick earlier. He wouldn't do it twice.
You wouldn't think so. They're kicking into the wind, by the way. This is a chance for Auburn to have
I think all the cards are on the table because, they've just stopped them on defense.
True. That's why they kicked it onside the first time, right? Just confidence in that D.
Green with a high kick and out across the 30 to the 32-yard line is Plot. And the Auburn offense will come back out there. But, you're down 17. You've got to get something fairly quickly to feel you really do have a legitimate chance to make something happen.
Get some confidence in the guys in the silver helmets.
Those are maybe the best helmets we've seen. They are great-looking helmets.
Yeah, they look great.
Shining like new money.
Here, look, Bradley Northcutt, the senior 3-year starter for this Auburn team. Plot, the sophomore, came in motion to the bottom of the screen. Northcutt, the inside give, and lunging out to the 40 is Cedric Clark, the junior, but there's a flag over on the far side of the field on the line of scrimmage.
Well, they've had a lot of trouble with pre-snap penalties, too many men on the field, organizational things.
Wow. That takes a 7-yard gain off the board. It's their 5th false start penalty here.
Yeah, in terms of pre-snap stuff.
Illegal formation. Not enough man on the line of scrimmage. Replay first down.
looking like a team that's in the second round of the playoff.
You know, and again, this is a team that often goes tight with 2 tight ends when they don't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. What's going on?
1st and 15. Northcutt again with the give, and nothing doing on that left side of the McGill defense.
You know, and we talked about it at the beginning of the game. Could the 2-3-hour trips back-to-back Friday affect this Auburn team a little bit? You know, they came down here and played Theodore last week.
And they did, you know, they fell behind 14-0 very quickly. 6 minutes into the game, they were down by 2 touchdowns.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I think it's just watching these teams trying to measure what we're looking at. I think it's just more all about McGill.
Northcutt rolling out, pressure coming, just heaves it to the near side. And McGill wants a intentional grounding, and he's going to get it from Jimbo Perez, as Northcutt just had to get rid of that with the pressure coming.
Well, his wideout plot was going on he was going straight down the
go
sideline.
route.
Yeah, he had a go route going, and the ball was 30 yards short of that.
Blake Arsenault was on a go route the other way, coming in right on the quarterback.
He does that well.
Arsenault with 7 sacks on the season, and it's fun to watch. This will be a loss of down and the penalty.
Gee whiz.
3rd and forever.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Lost it down. 3rd down.
Well, a little bit of pun intended. 3rd and North 85. They get off 65 heading on into Auburn.
3rd and 26. They need to get kind of toward their opponent last week, toward Theodore, to convert on this one.
Yeah, you know what? And this drive started with pretty good field position.
Northcutt just gives it off, and Clark up the middle, the 25-26 line. It'll bring up 4th and about 16.
Okay, just to give the punter a little more room and a little more comfort, huh?
Well, and a lot can, you don't throw it a lot. A lot can go wrong when you're back there that deep in your own end. And so Ledbetter will come on to kick. Hinton back deep to receive. Hinton's just going to let this one bounce. He decided to grab it. Wow, great kick. Going to be down at the 30-yard line. 42-yard net on that one.
I've got the best playing the best. Some of the top high school football players in Alabama and Mississippi headed for Hattiesburg December 12th for the 29th Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Football game in at the University of Southern Mississippi's D.D. Roberts Stadium. The 2 40-member squads of high school seniors will match their talents at 12 o'clock. Tickets are now available online and will be available at the stadium on game day, $10 each. The event is hosted by the Mississippi Association of Coaches in conjunction with the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association. Don't miss it.
3 and out for Auburn and a 1st and 10 for McGill. Up to the 43-yard line. Wade Kennedy
takes the football and just goes north and south, Jim. It always pays off.
Well, it pays off when you've got a paved road in front of you.
You got that crack, right?
Paved road that's going downhill.
Yeah.
Kennedy takes it again on the right side this time, and he's across midfield to the 45.
Yeah, that shoestring tackle there, he'd had a lot more.
Up at the 45 of Auburn.
Auburn probably gets a good talking to at halftime. They come out, go backwards on offense, and give up a couple of big runs on defense. Not a good sign early.
They are totally in reverse.
Chambers floats it out to the near side. Hinton makes a move. He falls down to about the 39-yard line, and the senior with his 31st catch of the season.
Yeah, what a play, too.
You don't think the Auburn guys have not seen the Auburn school do that, the university?
Yeah. I don't think the
you
university
think they'd be ready for that one.
They haven't seen themselves do it much this year.
Thank God.
Well, I don't know if that was necessary. Give Kennedy, nice move. And he'll drag a tackler to the 33 for a first down.
You know, there's just
Howard had him.
Not much that McGill's doing wrong. Even the patience of the runners right there, Vic. That wasn't an obvious run. He picked his way, found the corner, and took it. But that took a little patience.
Yeah, and he just made something out of nothing. Looked like it was going to go for nothing, but that's just how the type of players they've got over here on this McGill squad.
Chambers near side looking. Williams was there. Williams tried to draw a little contact, I think, to see if he could get the flag, and it's incomplete.
And he actually threw that before he made his break outside. If he would have completed that, I'd have been like, wow.
2nd and 10 here for the Yellow Jackets from the 34. Chambers, far side, zips it out, able to get it to Alex Davis, and then a flag. Let's see if they get Larry Rembert hold over there, and they will. Rare miscue by the Yellow Jackets here tonight.
Can't be totally perfect. Very close. Good job by Alex just making that catch and getting to the right side of the blocker.
From the spot of the foul, so it's damaging, but not too damaging. It's not from the line of scrimmage.
During the run, that holding on the offense remains 2nd down.
Try to tell that to Coach Ross, Dan. I don't think he'd buy it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mark it up here. It'll be a 2nd and 13. Harris Chambers, senior quarterback for this McGill-Toolen Yellow Jacket squad. Sends Hinton in motion. Now they flip it back off to Alex Davis, who cuts it back on the inside. Davis with a blocker in front. Gets upended at the 27.
You know, they just have so much more speed than Auburn. They really do. I mean, just offensively, McGill can run this play, and it may bust. Auburn doesn't really have the personnel to even run a play like that.
Not that we've seen so far.
Not that I've seen.
Maybe number 5.
No knock on that. They're just a big team.
Gould was downfield leading the chase there.
Yeah.
Fired it back to the near side. He's got it complete, and Williams has a first down for the Yellow Jackets, who complete the 3rd and 4 down to the 16-yard line.
But you know what I'm saying? That Auburn's a big, well-coached team, but they don't have the athletes to even dream of running a play like that.
No, don't look that athletic. But I can tell you what, this offensive coordinator's in a rhythm right now.
Kennedy right up the middle. Makes a move at the 10. Still on his feet. Kennedy steps out of bounds at around the 3.
And you know what puts that offensive coordinator in a rhythm? That starting lineup that Jim called out in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
The Jimmy and Joes.
Back when we could see who they were. Since the big Coke turnover.
Coke and what was added in that thing. You know, he's got the fumbles.
Steps out of bounds at the 4.
And if he gets a DUI tonight, he'll say, "You know who I am, don't
Please.
Lockett, did you really say that?
Yeah, inside Paris Chambers goes in for the score, thankfully to change the conversation to make it 27-3. Wow. And McGill, so impressive here tonight. Chambers just everything they do. You know, we asked J.C. Todd, defensive coordinator for Auburn, on the other side. We said, do you like the chess match? You know, do you like this? It's what we do. He's like, yeah, that's why we play like this. And thinking right now, he's not liking how the pawns are getting moved around in the...
And the chess match is fun when you got the pieces.
Yeah.
But right now, it looks like McGill is playing with 12 or 11 queens and kings, you know.
Got it.
And he's just got pawns over there.
There we go, 28-3. This one looking all McGill here with 7:23 to go in the 3rd. Another touchdown for the Yellow Jackets. Their defense comes out and gets a 3 and out to start the second half, and now they march it right down the field. And they have the 28-3 lead, and boy, now you let your defense just continue to carry you. So impressive here tonight and all season long.
You talked about the early season losses of Auburn, and they were all close.
Yeah, 3 games by 5 points.
You know, they got housed by the big power over in Georgia, but other than that, they've been in every game.
Morgan up the middle, and speedy returner up to the 32-yard line. Aaron's scoring summary, 8 plays, 70 yards, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Last score we had, and again, we know this is outdated, was Blount was trailing 7-0. Bessemer City on the road. Spanish Ford cruising tonight.
Yeah, many in this area, you want to see that Blount Spanish Ford match up again.
Can I raise? There's 3 of us in the booth that would raise our hand to sign up for that.
No kidding.
I'd like to see that. Looking over the middle into traffic, tried to come to the big tight end.
What's the saying? He who hesitates, what?
Yeah, he was lost on that one as Barnes couldn't pull it down. And you could just see they're not real comfortable when they try to come out and throw it around a bunch more. A lot of that is from McGill.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you are pretty good at as a passing team, this McGill defense, they can confound even well-oiled passing teams.
Cedric Clark upended in the backfield again. And
now the kids up front's getting in on the party, huh?
Everybody. Every level of this defense has been outstanding. And keep in mind, the 3 points, you don't want to say it was a gift, but it was after the
started
fumble.
at the 10. Started at the 10.
That's where the drive started.
And they had 7 plays to try to get it in. And 3rd and 10. Sprinting out. Northcutt fires it with everything he has, and that's incomplete. There's just nothing out there for the team in white right now.
No. I was watching, keeping an eye on the tight end, and I could see that he was going to be out of bounds by the time the ball got there, and in fact, that was the case.
And the punt team comes on again, and
Coach Weingard's got to be thinking, God, punt it back to them. They're just going to get more points.
Exactly.
I mean, you know.
4th and 10. Jerome 32, McGill with 9 up on the line of scrimmage. Now they'll drop 2 back. Good snap. Ledbetter, not a great kick. Wow. Ledbetter not having a great night punting the football tonight, but he certainly had a big night earlier this year. Tell us about it, Ashley.
That's right, guys. Sage Ledbetter is not having the night of his life tonight, but he did back in October, where he actually defeated the state record on a 61-yard kick, which made the longest field goal in state history. The kick was apparently made a free kicker coming off after a fair catch of a punt, which allowed him to kick with the tee without the rush. This is usually done, 2 or 3 seconds before the halftime or into the game. Also, the distance from the goal has to be at least 40 yards. Yes, this is allowed in high school football.
Yeah, here's a flag at the end of this one that's probably going to add 15 more. So what happened was, so Auburn had the opponent pinned back deep in their own end. They punt, and if you call for a fair catch, you can then free kick it off a tee. The other team can't rush or anything like that. And so, but you've got to have your opponent pinned back so you have a chance to make the field goal. And again, you only do it usually at the end of the first half or the end of the game, and that's what they did there. So he did it, got it, kicked a 61-yard field goal off a tee. And again, you just don't see it very often. And it was just one of those great moments for that young man that he'll remember his whole life. And
that's one of the great moments in high school football in the state of Alabama this year. Sure. 61 yards, and the circumstances and the free kick aspect of it, crazy.
And Adam Weingarten said it was timeout going to be called here by Auburn as things are gone from bad to worse. But Adam Weingarten said, it was this guy, Jeff Williams, the offensive coordinator. He said, let's do it. Let's do it now. But how about practicing it, be ready for it? How many teams even have that in their bag of tricks to pull out at some point during the season?
Yeah, I'm confused as you guys go through it in terms of the rule and how all of this came about.
Well, Vic,
I just heard an extra point. A field goal was made 61 yards, and that was pretty.
All right. Well,
couldn't dry to me.
We break down the film tomorrow morning, big boy. You bring the donuts, and Dan and I will X's and O's.
I'll be there.
We'll
You just said the magic words.
All right. So the winner of this game gets the winner of Lee from Montgomery, who we saw last week in Central of Phoenix City. And there's J.C. Todd, who we talked so much about, was, of course, at Daphne in that horrific car accident, and then left Daphne and went down to Fairhope to become the defensive coordinator with Adam Weingarten, and then moved up to Auburn when Coach Weingarten took the job up there. Cole Sharp comes in, and spins up to about the 16 and so great. I mean, J.C. Todd is such an inspiration for so many people. Spent so much time in the hospital up in Atlanta, and he said he loves being up at Auburn. He loves the community, loves the job. He said, but boy, he said you forget how many friends and family you have when you're down here together, and then all of a sudden you up and move, and you.
This is the only place he and his wife had ever been.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they got well-established roots, and he's got a very strong faith, and that's an adjustment.
Give to Roberson, and he's inside the 10. It's all downhill tonight for McGill, just running the ball downhill.
Yeah, like I said, the offense coordinator's in rhythm, and that starting lineup that Jim called out in the beginning helps 90% of that rhythm.
That was that left tackle again coming around.
Yep, first and goal from the 7, and down inside the 5 is Roberson.
They've got offensive linemen chasing people down to the 3rd level.
Yeah, you're right. That was Pierce Coggin pulling around there.
And they're the smaller group, which is, I must say, is embarrassing.
Yeah, it's been a long night.
It's going to be a long 3-hour ride back.
Yes, it is.
All of 3 hours.
I hope it's not on the cheese wagons.
Yeah. I don't think so.
You guys had a conversation about it.
I think they got the big.
They had the air-conditioned coaches on.
Yes.
Give Roberson trying to bounce it to the outside, and a good open field tackle there to wrap him up and bring him down by Hayden Williams, and 3rd down coming up. And they'll bring Paul Clark, the big tight end. We got a Tiger.
Now, this is not what you want to see happening here on either side of the ball. Any point of the game, especially at this juncture.
Yeah, Brock Ennis.
Let's hope it's nothing serious. Maybe the wind knocked out. And prayerfully, he'll be able to get up and we'll get him a little Powerade and come back in the game.
That's a little person trying to pick up a big one.
I was about to say the trainer, he's going to be on the ground too. He's going to pull something.
Kind of fell on his back.
Yeah, kind of awkward there.
Folks, I have a blue cell phone up here, and the announcement
Almost like
trying to beat a cramp out, hopefully.
Yeah, or maybe like a hamstring back there. Almost it felt, reached like he was trying to reach for. Third and goal for the Yellow Jackets to the near hash. Chambers with Clark in front of him. Motion, Chambers keeps it, rolls out, flips it into the end zone, and Clark has got the touchdown.
Wow.
Paul Clark, the big tight end, they get it to him.
Well-designed play. Execution wasn't perfect, good enough.
You know what I did like there? I think Chambers probably knew he could have run that into the far side, but his tight end does so much blocking for him all year. So let's get the big fella a touchdown here.
Yeah, and it's, the rare time when Chambers isn't quite on point, and yet Clark goes down and digs it out.
Yeah, good job by him.
Big kid.
Mailer with the PAT. 35-3 in the second round of the playoffs. McGill-Toolen continuing to roll here with 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers Game of the Week on UTV 44, brought to you by Aaron's, Faulkner State, and Zaxby's. More than just chicken fingers. The fries aren't bad either, right, Dan Brennan?
Pretty good.
High short kick and a fair catch called for at the 32-yard line. Now Auburn's defense down 32 with 3:43 to go in the third. And Northcutt only completed 64 passes all year long coming into tonight's game. They had 27 rushing touchdowns. They have 27 rushing touchdowns, 5 touchdowns through the air.
Wow.
And they
Well, they're still trying to run it here.
Going to need him any way they can get him. Kobe Smith comes in to carry that one.
Well, they do need a methodical drive with a good run-pass mix. Number one is to give their defense some rest. Well, I would say number one, they need to get first downs and points on the board. Second, they need to get their defense some rest because they have just been out there a god-awful amount of time without success.
Northcutt on the late pitch. Jacoby Smith.
I think they'll kick the sticks here.
Yep. He's able to pick
first down of the second half, and maybe their second of the game. Let's see what Brian says over there in the corner.
Haven't had a lot of them, that's for sure. Third first down of the game.
Brian Aaron, our statistician, on point guy.
Smith hit in the backfield and driven back by DeAnthony Washington. He was in there right as the handoff took place.
I got to take a look at DeAnthony Washington because I just can't believe they're lining him up at nose and he's making these kind of plays. It must be moving him around. Yeah, it looks like he's out here on the end right now.
Second and 12. High snap. Northcutt pressure coming. He's going to be hit and dropped. It's the two DeAnthonys, Philon and Washington.
Yeah, they overloaded to the left side of the defense, and the tackle just had to take his choice, and he decided to fan on out there, but the pressure was coming in that B gap, and they got him.
Yeah, I'm looking at what this team has done during the year. They lost to Opelika, one of the best 6A teams, still undefeated by 1.
Right.
They lost to Central Phoenix City, considered one of the top teams in the state, by 3. They lost to Jeff Davis by 1.
That's 5 points between those three.
Yeah. And the blowout came to Sandy Creek.
3rd and 20. Dump it out of the backfield to Smith. And Smith gets back to the original line of scrimmage before he's wrapped up by Washington.
The blowout to Sandy Creek, but Sandy Creek is one of the top schools in Metro Atlanta. You know, that they are. Yeah. And they're just loaded. So that was the one team that really, took them behind the woodshed. Since then, they won 5 straight games.
Yeah, beat Leah Montgomery by 2 touchdowns, who came in and just stuck it to Murphy last week.
Knocked Prattville out of the chance to be in the playoffs. Beat Demopolis, a very good team. And they just, took it to Theodore a week ago.
And McGill's taking them behind the Catholic Church.
Boy, they are really, really laying a good whipping on them tonight.
Heaton, Bear catches it at the 30-yard line. Be careful you don't get a flag after the catch there. And McGill comes back out with 48 seconds to go in the third.
Now, just to finish that point, I don't know if I mentioned it or not. Sandy Creek is undefeated.
Wow.
In the state of Georgia. And
in the state of Alabama.
As it turns out, yes. So in any event, this is really quite a statement by McGill-Toolen.
Well, if you don't know, you do know now. These guys can play some D.
Chambers gives it off to Cole Sharp. Ball knocked loose and recovered by Tony Howard.
Oh, he didn't. I thought he got back on it.
Nope, Tony Howard. That's a second fumble for the Yellow Jackets tonight. Howard knocked one loose earlier and falls on this one. 2 plays tonight. Knocked it away from Cole Sharp.
Gives the Tigers band something to strike up on.
Well, here's exactly what the Tigers are going to need. Short fields and bunches of them.
It was Howard who knocked it loose in the first half, and Rollins recovered. This time, Rollins-Cleveland knocks it loose, and Howard's recovered.
Teamwork.
Yep. First turnover gave them 1st and goal from the 10, and they had to settle for a field goal. There's Adam Weingarten.
He doesn't change his look much on the sideline.
Very businesslike.
Yeah, always.
Octavius Whitfield picks up a couple on first down as we near the end of the third quarter.
Boy, no real sense of urgency out of the Tigers here either.
Well, if they're planning on winning the football game, they better create a sense of urgency because now you can start to talk about possessions, which is the cliche amongst announcers these days.
Highland Run ahead, Garrett Morris, the sophomore, moves it to the 21. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. McGill-Toolen, 12 minutes away from going to the semis again, looking for their first ever state championship. Is this the year at the Lip? Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Brian Aaron, our statistician, Ashley Pope on the sideline, Jared Kihas in the truck. Our entire crew here, they were happy with some cooler weather to do all the setup.
Yeah.
We got about a
they work as hard as anybody.
16-hour day here to get everything all
certainly harder than I do.
Set up and torn down. Vic, that's never really been it
for me to just ruin it for him.
Just really, never really. Never,
not very hard to do.
They've not been confused about that fact.
The question has not come up in any of the political debates. Who works harder?
Hey, let's get back on that conversation about those donuts. You want cream or you just like plain, Jim? So Jim doesn't eat donuts, though.
So third and about 7. 2 down territory for the Auburn Tigers, down 32. Northcutt fires at the far side, and it's complete, but Cordell Plott was going down when he makes the catch and picks up 2, and it's 4th and 5. And you've got to get touchdowns here if you're the Tigers.
Well, they're starting to spread out a little bit, giving a pass look. They've got to get some points, and they get it quick.
Watch for Morris in the slot. Said he wants to go the other way. Put some zip on it. He's able to get it complete, and Auburn's got a first down to the 15-yard line. Maybe the best thrown ball we've seen tonight.
I would agree out of that Auburn team.
Yep, Plott, sophomore with it. And Northcutt really put some heat on that one to make sure he got it there before Josh Williams, who's got 7 picks on the year.
Yeah, you playing with fire and messing with him, huh?
Whitfield takes the give on the right side, and we'll get down to the 10 as he picks up 5 on that one, and 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Tigers, who've got a little something going here to start the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they'd like to make it respectable and say at least they've got a touchdown out of this kid.
Bradley Northcutt, been starting 3 years, knows what it's like to be in a big game. Northcutt gives it off Whitfield to the 6. As Ashley mentioned earlier, it's the 5th meeting between these two teams. 24-21 Auburn in the semis in 2013, 29-28 in overtime in the 2nd round. And in 2006, McGill-Toolen won 27-7. Before that, 28-21, McGill won a first-round matchup. Whitfield gets pushed back. Tried to go on the right side, had some blockers downfield, but he couldn't get past that first line of defense.
Yeah, you know, they're down here close. You know, I can't blame them for doing what they think they do best. And that's run the football.
Yep.
And still coming up short, but, you know, this is 4-down territory without a doubt. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to hammer it again.
They converted just a moment ago on 4th down. This one now 4th and 1 with 9.5 to go. Northcutt with a hard count.
Going 5 seconds on the play clock.
Gets it. Gives it off. Driven back and stopped.
Wow.
How about that? They go backwards on 4th and 1.
Just tried to run the simple belly play, and that play is usually good for a few inches every time.
I know. That was the safest play you could have run right there. The up back, just turn and give it to him, and look at the penetration. It's like McGill knew the count.
Yeah, you know, there was some missed block assignments on
Washington, the first one in there again, Vic Lockett.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that guy's having a well of a game, and I'll tell you what.
How demoralizing.
This defense is playing lights completely out.
You know, since the beginning of the year, first time we did a McGill game, Dan, Coach Caleb Ross just was raving about Ernest Hill and the job his defensive coordinator has done this year. As you look at Chambers has done here tonight, again, precision, 14 of 20.
Yep.
$162, a couple of timeouts. He's going to a couple of touchdowns. He's going to take a timeout here. But he just talked about how great Ernest Hill was, and he said, I don't think we're doing anything schematically that's so different from other teams. He said, Ernest just always has them in the right spot, and he said these kids also love playing for Ernest Hill on that side of the football.
Well, they look like it.
Yeah.
One thing they do, and you can call it schematically, or tendency-wise, they come after the quarterback. They make the quarterback uncomfortable.
Sure.
They don't sit back.
Sure.
So certainly other teams do that as well, but McGill does it very well.
Yeah, they are just playing good, and execution is great. And ironically, last week, I love to reference that LSU-Alabama game.
Right.
They got the ball with 9:18 left in the game, and that was the end of the game. Never seen that before in my life.
Wow.
All right, here's our trivia question. Auburn High School graduate, one of only 3 British-born players to win a Super Bowl. Any guesses? I'll tell you who he did it with. Did it with the Giants.
Did it with the Giants. From Auburn High. Is it
the kicker?
No, it's the linebacker.
O.C. Omanira.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
What a great story that young man is. Was a great soccer player growing up. Jonathan Braswell down in our truck, our replay operator, he had that. So he'll be replacing Vic Lockett in the booth next week. But he was
Welcome
a great.
to the
So where did
jungle.
you play college?
So played at Troy. Just went in the Troy Hall of Fame recently.
Wow.
But was a great soccer player as a youth. Was a great soccer player at 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And they were like, might want to think if there's another option out there.
sport.
Yeah, and now
pays
he's
a little bit more.
now he's an ambassador. When they had the game in London a couple of weeks ago, I saw on the pregame show, he's back over in London and kind of ambassador for the NFL.
Great.
He could get after it. 2nd and 6.
Now, who am I confusing with that went to Notre Dame from this area and played for the Giants? There was a linebacker, I think, did that.
But since this
I
game
thought
is
it was OC, though. I did thought it was him.
No, he played at
went
Troy.
to Troy. Huh?
Yep, went to Troy. And since we're watching this on tape delay, if you think you know who it is, just text Lockett at the house tonight. 3rd and less than a yard, and
I'll probably
Auburn
get it wrong tomorrow.
jumps offside. And will give McGill an easy first down with inside 8 minutes to go. And I think we're going to see Bubba Thompson come in at quarterback and replace Paris Chambers now.
Yeah, I was wondering, how do you manage a team in a game like this? You want to move on. You're up 35-3. At what point do you begin to get people off the field, but at the same time, not deplete the talent on the field?
And I see you got the running backs the different running backs that they've been cycling in and out of there, so you can do that a little bit. And
Yeah, I'll
no
tell you
gain
how
there
you
first
do
down.
that.
Wow.
Junior varsity. That's what they have in high school. Freshman teams.
As we're 7.5 minutes.
But if the other team doesn't oblige, they can do some damage real quick.
Yeah, usually at this point, some folks have checked out.
Yeah, but then you got those young men over there in the white that their last game, they want to get every minute of it.
Yeah. A lot of these seniors, this is it.
Yep.
But not in defeat. It's a different feeling when you're losing. It's like, in your mind, why was I lifting? I'm tired of working out.
Yeah.
I need a break. Your mind just flips.
That's me from 15 on.
So
to this day.
I tell you, it's different.
So after the penalty, 2nd and 15.
All right, if we can get it sorted out, we'll get the clock rolling and the game going.
Thompson fires it to the near side, and Davis can't hold on to that one. And That stops the clock, which is exactly what McGill did not want to do.
Exactly.
Well, are they practicing their passing with their backup quarterback or what?
Well, I think to them that's like a handoff.
Yeah, right.
Long handoff.
It's a long handoff, but yeah, that's a.
Actually saying Matt Brenna back in the 1996 played at UMS.
I don't think he played for the Giants
Yeah,
or a professional that I'm aware of.
You're talking about the defensive lineman.
Yes.
With the Giants,
Yes.
right?
Ware played up.
He played at Troy.
He played at Troy as well. Went to Auburn too. He also went to Auburn.
Did he?
Yep. And McGill will have to punt here. Something McGill is not done much here as Mahler comes on to punt, and Morgan Brown, playing his last game tonight for Auburn, stands just a couple yards beyond midfield.
Like him. That kid is a football player.
Got big collision on the first play of the game. Great punt by Mahler. Brown has to catch it over his shoulder all the way back at the 30. And nothing but Yellow Jackets around him. But yeah, took a big hit.
Good catch by him, all hands.
And with a wind, is pushing it behind you as well.
He's a gritty athlete. He's a tough kid, and he moves well. My guess would be he's the center fielder on the baseball team. That probably wouldn't be a stretch.
The 35.
Greenville's leading St. Paul's last.
Yeah, 17-9 going in the third, or at the end of the third.
Spanish Fort 51-0.
Spanish Fort have not seen Opelika score yet. Give Kobe Smith gets maybe one.
Nothing.
Clock about to be. Clock about to be under 5 minutes here.
Central Phoenix City leading Lee Montgomery 13-7 after 3.
Tight.
We like that team.
Tight.
Like that team after seeing them last week. They can pose some problems for some teams.
Yeah, they can. They did last week.
Northcutt looks to the near side, picked off, threw it to the near side, able to grab that is Carlton Marshall, and he takes it all the way in for the touchdown.
What a catch, huh?
Wow. I mean, just got right in the lane.
36 yards, and the linebacker gets his hands up there. You heard it hit his hands. Our field Mike picked it up.
It sounded like when a fastball hits the catcher's mitt.
Yeah. He kind of stared at his receiver.
Good job by him.
And then he did not let the receiver catch him, or the quarterback. That was Northcutt trying to get him, and Marshall elated with a touchdown.
Why not?
I'm not going to be denied Jim Cox calling my name with touchdown behind.
He got it for the score. And it is 42-3 Yellow Jackets. All McGill here tonight. They're going to be playing next week, trying to get to state.
That's a bold prediction.
Big blocker. We were just talking in the break there. I mean, that's a tough catch for a linebacker to make.
Yeah, the deal for him to do, they coach that all day long. You know, get your drop right there in that zone there in the flat.
That was the easy part.
And he got there.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, the guy threw it right there for him to just stick his hands up. And it was a fastball.
It was a fastball. He grabs it. You hear the catch, yeah. And then he quickly turned it the other way and transitioned to a ball carrier.
Linebackers don't get those opportunities too often. You want to make the best of it.
Charles Green kicks it high to the near side. Plot at the 18. Back up the middle of the field. To the 32-yard line.
A lot of weaving, nothing going vertical, though. And this is not the group to try to go horizontal against, because they're going to stay in their lanes.
They do. And that's kind of why people end up going that way.
Horizontal, huh?
Yeah.
Now I think we're going to see Brooks Fuller, the sophomore quarterback, come in. And he will.
Why not? Get him some reps. Get him ready.
And they're going to have to hurry to get this one off as Octavius Whitfield gets in there. They snap it with 3. They give it to Whitfield on the right side, and he'll fall forward for a couple. And we're seeing some new numbers out there for McGill as well. Some of the youngsters getting in there, getting some playing time, and that's what they practice all week for as well. Get a chance to get on the field on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. On TV, get Jim Cox to say their name a couple of times.
Game that really means something as McGill now moves on and
to the semis.
Yeah. Again, one less round in 7A ball.
Right, because there's only 32 teams that make up the brackets, or that, you know, in all of 7A.
Whitfield, I could see a little bit of talent with him when he carries the ball. He's no slouch. He just hadn't had the daylight tonight.
Yeah, just a junior.
A good little player for them. I can see it.
Radoslovich in there. Defensively, Rip Williams getting some time for the Yellow Jackets. McCabe Faulkner in on the offensive line. Brian Hill comes in at cornerback as well, and Williams up to the 47-yard line as we get it down near 3 minutes to go.
Snyder again makes the initial hit in the stop.
Again, the only loss for this team, we saw it. You saw it live on UTV 44 against a very talented and hungry Blunt team.
It was a great game.
It was 17-14, and see how many more of our local teams get a chance to move on.
Brooks Fuller hands it off, and there's still some popping by those youngsters in there.
Yeah, they're excited too.
Whitfield, absolutely, and they should be. Read off some of the other McGill players getting in there defensively. Caleb Ross. How about the job Caleb Ross has done here? And big hug there.
Yeah, steadying the ship after a rough first year.
Yeah.
Ernest Hill is defensive coordinator there with the hug. Williams falls forward. He's going to be close to a first down as we approach 2 minutes to go.
You know, coaches that know each other too.
Yep.
And staffs, since it's Adam, who was at Fairhope for a few years.
Oliver Brown checking in for the Yellow Jackets. Joe Sider in defensively. Third and less than a yard. Fuller right back. Octavius Whitfield, he has the first down. Fuller has that look of a quarterback. Big 6 foot, 185-pound frame. Is just a sophomore. Kind of see what he's going to be doing the next few years for
got
Adam
something to build
Weingarten.
around, right?
Brandon Barnes up in the end zone camera, just joining our crew here tonight. First game.
He's got on the right sweatshirt. That'll get him taken far.
Just a big initiation process that the crew put on him to start, you know, down there tonight at the team meal before the game. I didn't think was appropriate.
That was a hazing?
There's Stephen Smith. That young man is talented behind the camera and in front of the camera. He is a talented young broadcaster. I've worked with him a couple of times over at NBC. He's done some sports casting for them, and he's a talented young man. Up to around the 27.
You don't see the pretty boys doing the grunt work like that.
Banya Kai gets you those great shots on the sideline. Didn't like his Banya bailing out there. He thought he was going to get run over from behind. But Banya, whenever you see that football coming right at you in your living room, he's the one bringing it to you.
No flinch in him, is it?
No. Again, Whitfield comes up, and that'll probably be the last snap of this game. And McGill-Toolen's defense gives up a field goal after Auburn took over at the 10-yard line. And that was it.
That was it.
That was it. And McGill with a very impressive win here tonight at the Lip. And student body section rightfully cheering on their players here tonight.
You know, I think what probably surprised me more than anything was the disparity in skill and speed of the two teams.
You know,
that kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
I agree. And, you know, sometimes you see a score and say, well, you know, it wasn't really indicative of how the game went that night. This one was it. That was it. I mean, and I think Adam Weingarten would say the same thing. This is a McGill team that defensively, again, they're giving up 10 a game, and that'll go down a little bit tonight by only giving up 3. And you can see why. And they just play as such a unit. Not a lot of stars, if you will, out there, Vic, but a lot of great high school football players.
Yeah, I'm telling you, just the word that comes to mind is compete. Compete at every position, whether it's the front, like Dan talked about, whether it's the secondary that Dan talked about, or the linebackers. Every phase of the defense just plays very hard. Man on man, I'm going to beat you and compete.
No weakness.
No weakness at this point or in this game tonight.
So McGill moves on with the win here tonight. Auburn finishes up their season 7-5. As we get ready to Ashley. Coach, lots of well-wishers around Coach Ross at the moment. I think Ashley has been able to get down there and catch up with Caleb Ross. Ashley.
Congratulations, Coach. How does it feel to finally make it past round 2, victorious?
Especially against these guys. We ain't had a whole lot against Auburn, and really proud of our kids. And I said this earlier, we had the best week of practice since I've been the head coach, and it really proves when you go prepare, you can go have a game like that. And it's proud of our offense, proud of our defense. It's one of the more complete games besides a couple turnovers that I've had. Really proud.
You are the only 7A school left in the Mobile-Baldwin County area. Next week, you will be on the road. What can you tell your kids for next week with traveling? You know, you're not going to be home next week.
Yeah, but this is semifinals. You know, we're ready for this, and our kids are ready. They're dialed in, and if we can play like we do tonight here on out, we've got a great chance.
I have one question. What did Coach Weingarten tell you right there at the very end?
He just said, hey, look, you had a great job. You out-executed this, you know, ton of respect, that type of deal. Me and Coach Weingarten are friends, and he's a heck of a football coach, and he'll have Auburn where it needs to be in the future.
Congratulations, Coach. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
Caleb Ross, a very humble young coach, and you know he said I got to give it to my kids. That was the best week of practice we've ever had. Something the coach there. Also, I think the kids would have to say we got to give it to our coach for helping us have the best week of practice.
You're right, and I think humble comes naturally when you only have to go a year back.
Sure.
You know, he's got to go a calendar year back. They weren't even in the playoffs, so that'll humble you.
Right.
You know, and that was his first year as a head football coach. Look at how good. Here. Look at how good this team is his second year.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
What an improvement.
It is an improvement, and the defense, you know, just can't say enough about it. I mean, they just rendered the Auburn offense to feckless. I mean, just nothing was working for them. I mean, then they tried to spread it out a little bit and get some passing going. Wasn't able to do that. So it was a great performance defensively. I'm proud of that side of football.
Chambers throws for 2, rushes for 2. Also, Quay Kennedy just shy of 100 yards, 94 yards on the ground tonight. 5 catches for Marlon Williams for 52 yards and a touchdown. Kennedy had a touchdown as well. And McGill-Toolen, what a night here tonight. Winners 42-3. They get a defensive touchdown, and offensively they were rolling as well, but they didn't give Auburn a sniff defensively. And they go on to the semifinals. Congratulations to the Yellow Jackets. Our final score here tonight, 42-3 for Ashley Pope in the sideline. Brian Aaron, our statistician. Jared Kihas in the truck. Vic Lockett, Dan Brennan. I'm Jim Cox saying good night from the Lift, where McGill keeps playing. They're on the road next week, 1 win away from going to state.